How do you build up JINHSI's Forte bar as fast as possible? This is what we are gonna talk about in this video. To this day, I still see many people confused about how you get this bar filled. We're gonna talk about this in a very simple way. This is not a complete guide. This is just about rotation and how her Forte mechanic works. Also how you use her effectively. First, you guys have to understand that this Forte mechanic, this Forte bar, has to be filled so JINHSI can actually deal massive amounts of damage. This thing is the thing that matters the most in her whole kit. This is also the most important thing you need to level up first, her Forte Circuit. Get this as high as possible, because if you level this higher, you will deal even more damage. This ability does even more damage than her ult, that's why it's so important to do. Now, how do you even deplete this Forte bar when it's full? So, there are certain combos you can do. You do 4 basic attacks, then she gets this glow up, you use the resonance skill. You can also use this resonance skill just to do more damage. Use another 4 basic attacks and you get this attack where she uses Jewel to do a hyper beam attack on the ground. And this attack is the one that you will always want to do when this bar is filled. Now, how do you even fill this bar up? Every damage source that you do fills this bar up. Even if you swap out JINHSI, she will still gain the Forte bar. Alright? If you swap to a different character, deal damage with this character to enemies, her Forte bar will fill up. But there's something very important to know as well, because every element counts as its own internal cooldown. That means if you deal different types of elemental damage at the same time, it is even more effective. She can get one of these bars every time one element attacks. So if you would have 3 elements in the team, it would be the most effective way to fill up her bar as fast as possible. But 1 bar every 3 seconds doesn't sound much, right? Because look at this. How many does she even have? She has 50. So it would take a long time if you just use 1 unit to attack. There's another way to gain even more of her Forte bar. Here we are talking about coordinated attacks. Coordinated attacks are simply stuff that is on the field, for example, like Yuanwu's pillar that deals off-field damage. So if you swap to JINHSI, this is a coordinated attack, okay? You will now deal electro damage every time you hit a unit. This is also why Yuanwu is one of the best picks for JINHSI right now, because he simply presses 1 button and the coordinated attack is already on the field and you can already swap to a different unit. Now this coordinated attack will give her 3 of these bars, 3 out of the 50 bars every 3 seconds. And as I said, every element has its own internal cooldown. That means if you do another coordinated attack, something else that does damage as well off field, like Verina's ult. So if you use Verina's ult, you basically have 12 seconds of coordinated attacks from Verina as well, which will give her another 3 of the bar every 3 seconds. Now combining the pillar from Yuanwu, which is his resonance skill, with Verina's ult counts as 6 bars every 3 seconds. 6 out of the 50 bars will be filled up just like that. But you also need to attack. So yeah, this is how you get 6 bars every 3 seconds just with the coordinated attacks. So if you don't have Yuanwu or Verina, there's also other characters that actually have coordinated attacks. You can go into this filter menu in your character menu and you just click on coordinated attacks and you will see every character that has coordinated attacks. Yinlin has coordinated attacks with her heavy attack when her Forte bar is filled. So she might take a longer time than Yuanwu to get this ready. Keep this in mind. Baizhi's ult has also coordinated attacks, so if you don't have Verina as a healer, you can use Baizhi. Keep in mind her ult can only do 4 coordinated attacks, so it might end earlier than, for example, Verina's ult. Verina's ult holds up for 12 seconds, Baizhi's ult for only 4 attacks. Meaning that Verina is simply just better to help JINHSI fill up her bar. Then we also have mortefi, which he uses his ult for the coordinated attacks. That means if you swap to him, you need to fill his ultimate first, use his ultimate, and then you swap to the next character. Since everybody has Yuanwu because you get him in one of the tower missions pretty early on, he is one of the best units to pair up with JINHSI simply because he doesn't have to do much. You don't even need to build him, he's only there as a battery. Because his damage is also pretty low, so you shouldn't really put too much effort into him. And all you basically do is use his resonance skill, put the thing on the floor, swap to Verina, get her ult up as fast as possible, then also try to get the outro skill from Verina and swap to JINHSI into her intro skill. JINHSI's intro skill will let you skip the first 4 basic attacks where she basically enters the skateboard form and will save you a bunch of time. The goal is to spam as many of the dragon beams as possible, as fast as possible. This is also why I would recommend to go for Verina and yuanwu. If you don't have Verina, you should go for Baizhi. She's the closest to Verina, almost the same thing, a little bit worse though. Alright, I will show you guys the rotation, how to do it. Put in yuanwu, use his resonance skill, and you can already swap him out. Then you get Verina's ult ready, which I have it. Activate it. Now we're gonna spam more attacks until we get the more concerto, so we can get the intro skill for JINHSI. Spam a little bit more. There we go. Swap to JINHSI. You can see she's already at 60% of her skill. We can also now continue attacking, or you just swap to yuanwu because her bar is not really filled right now. So we're gonna try this again. Use her basic attacks to get to the next form. Use this. Now we have a full bar. Use the hyper beam attack to deal massive amounts of damage when it's full. Okay, this is basically the rotation. Okay, swap back to yuanwu. Place the spiller on the ground. Use Verina again. Get her ult up as fast as possible. Use also Turtle if you have it, which will also give you another damage boost for your whole team. Use Verina's ult to get coordinated attacks and heal. Use JINHSI's intro skill. Skip the first stage mechanic. And her bar is full again. And this is the whole thing you do and repeat every time. It's pretty simple if you understand it. But I know the confusion is pretty high. Swap back to yuanwu, press his resonance skill, put it on the ground. Swap to Verina, spam attacks until you get her ult up. Get a lot of energy regen for this. Also, you can sometimes swap to JINHSI earlier. As you can see, her bar is already full. So sometimes you just need a little bit of the hang of it. And you can swap to her earlier. And her bar is already full, as you can see. We do the attack. And we can swap back to yuanwu, put the thing on the ground. Get her ult up, use Verina's ult. We have both coordinated attacks up now. Her bar is again almost full. It's already at 70%. Very good. We should be able to get a full bar here. Very nice. Don't be afraid to use all the resonance skill because they don't share the cooldown with the hyper beam. Use the hyper beam when the bar is full. And that's basically it. I hope I explained it simply enough. If you didn't understand it, let me know in the comments. If it was helpful though, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more helpful Wuthering Waves videos. This is basically it. This is how it works. I hope you guys are not confused anymore. And yeah, I see you hopefully guys in the next video. Enjoy playing JINHSI. She's so freaking good. She does massive amounts of damage. And yeah, I definitely don't regret pulling her. Even if Zhengli has a better and bigger personality. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Good only one world, one love, but the battle goes on shadows of mass destruction. Ooh, yeah. Do 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 do. Baby, baby. Do 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 do. Ooh, yes. Do 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 do. Baby, baby. Do 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 do